The most important question that anyone can grapple with is, who am I? If you want to be free, really free, and you want to understand your highest potential, then firstly, you have to stop. Stop whatever you're doing. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, why exactly am I doing what I'm doing? Have you ever done this? We've all been trained. We've all been programmed. We have all been hypnotized to hold a certain value system. And we've all been made to believe that these ideas and these norms are right and correct, and they cannot be questioned. But it is our willing obedience and adherence to all of these cultural values that is exactly what keeps us in a tiny little box. To quote Ram Dass, in most of our human relationships, we spend much of our time reassuring one another that our costumes of identity are on straight. He's saying that we all learned that it is important to be a good boy or a good girl. Now, you are probably someone who has already seen this to some extent, and you've started to question. But there are layers built upon layers, and if you dig too deep, people start to say, stop that. What's wrong with you? Stop rocking the boat. Have you noticed that when you stand still long enough, that you can see all of the thoughtless, automatic, fear-based movements of everybody around you? And you might well ask yourself, is this what I want as well? Is this going to bring me to fulfillment? Is this going to bring me happiness if I go along with all of it? Because you've probably noticed already that these people do not look all that fulfilled. They look quite stressed and anxious. And so many of them look like they're faking it. And yet, so many of these people are telling you what you should be doing and how you should live your life, right? These self-appointed influencers are in your face all the time with their top 5 tips of what you need to implement today to crush it. So there you are, observing all of this. And if your quiet observation goes on for a while, you might accidentally start to ask yourself the most important question that any human being has ever grappled with. You might ask yourself, who am I? Who am I really? Could it be I've made some assumptions along the way? Because if you look in the mirror, right, and you observe your physical form, you probably have noticed that you're not the same person that you were 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. You don't have the same wishes also. You don't have the same wishes and desires as that person that you were way back then. So if you're not your physical form, and you're not these goals and desires that you used to have, then who are you? Now, if you spent any time in meditation, you're going to understand the big secret that most people have not yet glimpsed. You'll understand that you're not the mind, that you are not the movement of thought. And if you've been brave enough to carry on in this direction, you might have started to notice that there is a space between the movement of your mind and something that is even more you, something much more deep, something much more real. So if you're not your mind, who the hell are you? And if you are a bit of an old soul, you might have continued down this path even further and asked the same questions about your emotions. And as you watch them from a distance in the way that a hunter stalks its prey, noticing that your emotions come and then go. And then in doing so, you will have seen that it's very possible to navigate through your life without attaching great meaning or importance or significance to the transitory movement of your emotions. Really, they're a bit like the weather, right? They come and they go. But if you're not your emotions, again, who are you? Now, Alan Watts, in his book On the Taboo Against Knowing Who You Are, writes, the most strongly enforced of all known taboos is the taboo against knowing who or what you really are behind the mask of your apparently separate, independent, and isolated ego. And he's right. He's bang on. Because then, if you did that, you'd be rocking the boat. And here's the problem. Everybody's in on it, this game. Have you noticed? Everybody is pretending that they are the movement of the mind and the movement of their emotions. They believe without question that they are their bodies. They fall over and they say, "Wow, it hurts," right? So it must be me. I can feel it. And they repeat to themselves and anybody who will listen the script of their personal history, the list of their favorite opinions, and so on, right? I'm sure you've noticed. We find ourselves on a great stage. And as the famous quote goes, all the men and women are merely players. And as such, they're bound to live their lives according to the script that has been written for them. But what if you say to yourself, "Oh, no, not me. I am a free thinker. I'm the captain of my ship, and I'm going to burn my script. I'm going to decide these things for myself." Well, then you must make a very conscious and very clear decision and intent to know yourself. You must make a vow to look into the nature of not only the universe, but more importantly, of your own being and essence. Only then is it possible that you might have the beginnings of a chance. And I say it in this way because then you'd be choosing to stand in defiance of a tsunami of cultural norms and historical values that go back millennia. Here's a line from Ram Dass. It is at this moment when you see that who you thought you were is not who you are. It's just who you think you are. And in this awakening is the recognition that an incarnation is an opportunity to move into harmony with the will of God or away from it. That is who you are, and that is what you're doing here. So yes, you can be free, and that is my actual experience. If this is what you want, and it's important enough to you, you can make it. But be aware that there is a price to be paid. Look, so many teachers speak of bliss of divine union, right? That's their message, or the absolute peace of non-dual awareness. And yes, these things are real, but not many of these same teachers are going to tell you there is a price to be paid for these things. You see, if you're going to speak about this part, it doesn't really bring all that adulation and praise that so many teachers and gurus like to receive. I'm actually going to take the risk of not being liked or praised and tell you that actually there are no guarantees on the true path, because it really is a razor's edge. And I've been walking this path for the largest part of my life, and I've done it together with many, many people. So I've seen myself fall, pick myself up again, but I've also seen so many of my brothers and sisters fall by the wayside, and I've never seen them again. And I don't want to be negative, really, at all. It's not what this is about, but I've got to tell you that not everybody is going to make it. And you're going to have to be willing to stand alone in your one-pointed intent. And if you're willing to take this courageous stance, then I know that you're already starting to see through this solution. So I want to encourage you and say that you do have a chance, a real chance. And to realize that you have this chance, to make that realization in this lifetime, is actually quite a big deal. So I, for one, I'm on your side. I am going to cheer you on. All right? All right. Off you all go.